Go ahead. Sorry.
Vegas rules everything around us.
Yes.
Um, just that's all I have to say about that.
It's you have to laugh. I have to laugh to keep from crying, but that's just the typical. That's just a classic Lions getting fucked over at the end. But I mean, the story of the game, Lions just not put enough effort forth. Bad O line, bad defense. It's the same shit. And we've been doing this whole season. This has been a bad season for the Lions. Just bad all over again. Just I said they were maybe a 10-11 win team, and that was probably being a little too generous. This team is cock-a-doodle. Last two games against the Bears and Vikings, the Bears took care of business against the Packers. Packers are, they're still in the hunt, but they got a little bit of a roadblock in the way. But
Well, and who cares really at this point?
who gives a shit?
There's nothing to benefit the continuation of the wins. Like,
No,
what do you get out of it? And yeah, you know how this shit goes. Like, this is a situation where you as a Lions fan have to just quietly be humbled and realize the NFL's bigger than you.
Yep.
And realize also too that we weren't going to win that game clearly, no matter what happened.
No matter
what.
We're
going to find a way to make sure that game ended with us losing. So
yeah, it's fine. I'm just like, another gut punch. But see, I just can't. All the years I've watched the Lions lose heartbreaking games, it's just like whatever. I'm numb to it now.
Right.
So it's just whatever. We start planning for next season. We start addressing some of these problems. We hope Brad can address something, so actually do something in free agency, get some guys here in the draft. Just redo this whole thing. Just basically, I mean, I'm not saying we got to do the whole total teardown or anything like that. Nothing like that. But
teardown, dude.
No, absolutely not. But we need a lot of help. We got the good core in place. That's one thing we can look. We can. But it's time to add complementary pieces. Marcus Davenport going out. That was pretty funny. Honestly, I laughed at that. DK Metcalf going after a Lions fan in a blue wig. That was some entertaining shit. So I think the NFL will be having words with him very soon. But yeah, some of these. I mean, that Khalif Raymond run back was pretty exciting. But that play at the end, the offensive pass interference, I don't know what the fuck that was. That was the most goofy shit I've ever seen in my life. I don't know where the fuck they called that from, what the fuck that was, but it got to Goff in the end, and I was like, fuck yeah. And then, but I saw the flags. I'm just like, oh Jesus, what's this gonna be? It was just.
It was called the Lions weren't going to win that game.
The Lions weren't going to win, and the Lions season is pretty much it's over. I know they still got a 16% chance of making the playoffs. I don't care. No. There's still so many problems with this Lions team, so many issues that need to be addressed. This has been a bad season. I know last weekend we were kind of like going, well, come on, guys, we can have a little bit of hope. They're probably going to lose to the Rams, and they're probably going to blah. And we're going back and forth. And I know Doctor and the Dew had some fun with that, but, it's just – maybe they were right. I mean, as the Lions, I still think the Lions window, I mean, maybe it closed a little bit, but I still think there's some chance to, build this team back up and go get them for next season. But it's pretty bad, and there's some pretty obvious problems in this team. And some of Dan Campbell's timeout usage was kind of like, what the fuck? And, we have a little, it's
this is what the problem is. And the problem is it's not complicated anymore. We're not in a team where everything is full rebuild mode. We're having a problem that all winning franchises have a problem with, is that you're not going to hit the Super Bowl every year.
No.
We see how hard it is to go to the NFC Championship game and continually stay there, right? It takes long-term success, and we haven't found that yet. Brad Holmes does a great job at drafting. He's done a great job at jump-starting this whole situation. You look at a team like Washington, a team that went to the playoffs, and now they're probably 2 years far. They've set themselves 2-3 years back, right? They lost a lot of their momentum. We have so much firepower. We have so much momentum still riding with this experiment. However, though, the caveat is you need to grow as a general manager, Brad, and show us that you can take free agency a little bit more serious, because
Yeah.
the teams that are still in it right now are the teams that have done a really good job of doing that. And not as
Yes.
far as signing all-stars, as far as padding their roster so that when there's a situation awry, they don't look like they're shot, and running around with one leg. Because as much as Thomas Harper and all these guys did a nice job, when you have Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph on the IR, and you have Terry and Arnold on the IR, and for the first part of the season you had DJ Reed on the IR, it's getting really tough to patch this shit together and stay in games. And then you look at the offensive line play, and you see what this is a rhythm-based offense. So if you don't have stout offensive line play, then you're going to get what you're getting right now, right? And we see when you have that offensive line that's top 5 in the league, okay, we go to an NFC Championship game. So those are the differences of what you saw when we went and played out in San Francisco versus this team. Is we're going to have to make those adjustments. And I know we'll do it, right? And we're primed probably to pick on the later end of the draft. So take Alabama, take OSU, take one of their offensive tackles, start falling in love with those guys and saying, okay, this is who I want. But Brad showed us what he can do in the draft. So, again, I keep saying that. I'm not worried about that. However, to me, I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of fed up with his free agency tactics.
Yes.
I see that.
The whole "we good" thing, that bothered me. That bothered me at the start of the season. The whole Zadarius Smith thing. And look, the Zadarius Smith retired halfway throughout the season, so it's kind of like one of those things like,
he wasn't
okay,
the answer.
Yeah, he wasn't the answer. He kind of dodged a bullet there. But sticking with Davenport, not making a play for anybody else, that was really irritating. There's some big names out there. Could we have swung it? I don't know. But, still just trying, making that phone call. What's actually going on here? That's been the case for, Brad Holmes for a few seasons now. It's just like you can add at the deadline, and you just don't. And you're just like huffing your own farts, man. I think Brad Holmes, for everything I like about the guy, I do think he kind of buys his own bullshit at the end of the day, and he just thinks, we got this team in such a good spot now, we don't need to add anything. But it's just like, man, obviously the cracks are starting to form, and the foundation's getting a little shaky. You got to start adding pieces, and we're still way up. We're still, we still have some of the pieces here. We still have a good core, like I said. But we got to start adding those complementary pieces. You got to bring guys in when your guys go down. You got to start, addressing those issues. You need backups. You need depth. Lions just don't have that right now. The whole Legion of Whom thing was fun for a little while, but come on. You got to make some big boy moves. You can't have a bunch of guys on the practice squad starting. You got to move forward. You got to solidify these positions. Otherwise, you're just gonna flounder at the end of the season. That's what the Lions are doing. They're floundering right now.
I was waiting for this. Somebody out here who's out there playing $1 scratch-offs thinking they're going to win the lotto.
Oh, brother.
We're not out of the playoffs. Yeah, we're out of the playoffs. Yeah, we are out of the playoffs.
We're done. I'm sorry. For any positive momentum we might have had for a little bit. We beat up on a few bad teams. We had a little bit of fun, but the fun's over now.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to give any love to any credence to this, just give it up, because waste your energy. Don't waste your energy. Start fresh next season, because the whole winning out situation was our best bet, right? So to me, it's just I just personally want to remind Lions fans that this is the first time in 35, 40 years where we've had 4 or 5 good football seasons. So just calm down, right? We're just just gotta chill out. So
no, I'm not freaking out. I'm not panicking or anything. I'm not saying the window's closed or anything. The Lions need to do some serious retooling. Otherwise, I still trust Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell for the most part. My confidence has been shaken a bit. I can't lie to you. I think every Detroit Lions fan is being a little bit but
here's a good example. If you're a Bears fan right now, what you have is you're having a fun, lucky first season with Ben Johnson, right?
Yeah.
However, though, you're never gonna get back to that peak bullshit 1980 Super Bowl shuffle crap
No.
that you guys ever got to. That was the mountaintop. That's the peak for you guys. What you did with Rex Grossman was funny and laughable. Now thinking about how that team went to a Super Bowl, but that's my point. Like when I say the Lions are finally getting to that point where we have fun, good. Like every year we're just going to be a fun team. The Bears haven't had that in forever. They're so up and down, right? They're going to have this season. We all know that if the Bears do anything and saying, well, the Packers are done, especially if Jordan Love's head busted. You're not going to see any team come out of the North and do anything as far as a Super Bowl.
No.
They don't have the firepower. But they're having a fun little weird, kitschy, cardiac style season, which is fun. And Ben Johnson's doing a great job, right? We saw what he learned from the almighty Dan Campbell here, but
I think that in a few years the development of the Dan Campbell coaching tree will be interesting. Ben Johnson's one name. What does Aaron Glenn do in the New York Jets? The first season he kind of pretty much write it off, but in the coming seasons, Kelvin Shepard, John Morton, I think we already know that guy's pretty much out on his ass. But as a Bears fan, I think the Lions can be really good if they get a head coach like Ben. Oh, that got me. Would you coach with a coach like Ben Johnson? Yeah, I think we'd be pretty good. Yeah. Everyone wants to burn down the freaking whole thing right now. I'm not freaking out, but I'm focused on next season. This season's a write-off for me. This season's done. It's been a roller coaster of a season, mostly going down.
And my response to this,
here we go again.
That wasn't in 1984, which is nice. So
yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what I don't fucking know. I know people are gonna be talking their shit. People just. God almighty, can't you just let Lions fans gloat for a few years? Can't you let us have any fun before you start raining on our parade?
Right.
Good God.
Hey, aren't the Bears moving to Gary, Indiana? Did I see something?
I heard, I saw that AI mock-up of their new stadium, yeah.
Their new stadium in Gary, Indiana.
That's where they belong, in the armpit of America. But, the Bears, it's just like a funny little story. I remember they were like 12-4 under... Like a few years ago, I don't remember who their head coach was, but he didn't stick around too long. But, Bears, every once in a while, they'll kind of surprise you. But for the most part, it's just, they'll go like 10 years between surprising you. But the Lions.
They have their Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall year of being annoying, right? But never crossing the threshold because they'll never get a general manager that knows how to do anything. So that's why, to me, I'm still high on our staff now. I will say this, as the time goes on, right, my vision, or I'm sorry, not my vision, but what I'm prioritizing and what I'm looking at just becomes a little bit more tunnel vision, right? So this next season, their offensive coordinator, that's going to tell me everything, what they do with that move.
Yep.
If it's Johnny Morton again, or if it's just some kind of like boomer-looking dude who has no intentions of taking us to the next level, then I'm going to be pissed off, right? So same thing. If they ignore the offensive line, if they're not signing guys.
Get Taylor Decker out of town.
Yeah, right?
Ugh.
It's kind of time, though. It's time to really, like you saw that one year where Kansas City was making their big push for the Super Bowl. And they realized Mahomes needed a heavy investment in an offensive line, and they retooled the entire thing. We already have the best right tackle in the game.
Yep. Oh, yeah, definitely. It just I don't know what else can really. We've hit all these points and stuff like that. It just. I still think the Lions, got a lot of good pieces. I still think they're a very solid organization right now. It's a bit real kick in the balls. I know what the haters say, but I still think the future can be very bright for this team. But this is going to be a pretty critical offseason. That if we're going to be competitive again, Brad Holmes needs to kind of change up his strategy a little bit. I feel. Is he too proud to do that? I don't know. If we have another bad season next season, then I think the tenor is is going to be pretty bad. It's going to be then we'll start hearing the SOL stuff again. You know, we'll hear the SOL shit. I mean, get ready for it. It's coming.
I
It's
know.
coming.
I mean, dude, listen. They lose the first game they lost this year. I heard SOL. I hear SOL all the time. So you're right, though. We beat the shit out of this thing. So when you really look at it, though, from an overall perspective of Detroit sports, we have nothing to blame. But how about this? Everything we can blame, we blame on Hitch for the Lions.
Yes.
It's been 6 months since he's came on this podcast. And I'd like to shout out the fact that we did call out. We kind of had a little betting thing of was he going to come on for an episode. And I think we both picked C, which was not answer and ghost us for 6 months. So I do want to call that out. Thank you, Hitch, for not coming on. Your dedication to avoiding this podcast is remarkable. 6 months going. Let's keep it going to 7.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him since July. I don't know what his deal is.
Yep.
I sent him a couple texts, just like, all right, Hitch, do your own thing, man. I figured he had some, I don't want to, bother him too much, but maybe I'm a little clingy. Maybe that's me. Maybe he sees Tom is texting him, and maybe he's just like, this guy is being a stalker. No. But, I don't know what's going on with the guy, but
maybe
he's just one of those dudes.
He's living at doesn't get internet right now. Maybe that's
I guess so. I mean, you've known him. I mean, I haven't seen Hitch in the flesh in like 20 years, so you know better than me. But I don't know what the deal is.
I mean, either way, right? We got the Lions losing and Hitch completely breaking down on us and completely leaving us heartbroken. But we do have the Red Wings and we do have the Pistons. They're doing exceptionally well. I think if we're going to give any love and any credence to any story or any time, that's it, dude. Because did you see Tarek Skubal doing his farewell tour through LCA?
He went down to LCA, he was throwing some jerseys out in the crowd like, all right, thanks for the memories, Tarek, but enjoy New York, enjoy LA, enjoy wherever. But, it's nice, I guess, but God.
It is nice, dude. He gave us a lot of good times. I mean, any positive momentum to the jump start of those last couple of years is because of his arm in the Cy Young. So but that was a farewell tour, ladies and gentlemen. He was attended. He was even at a Michigan State basketball game at Shitbag LCA. Which I thought was interesting. But so Tarek Skubal, he had his reunion or his farewell tour. He's on his way out. And like I said, that leads me to my next point is the Pistons legitimately have one of the best shots in the city at winning a title.
I think so. I mean, they really came along. I watched them slap around the Charlotte Hornets for a while. That was a pretty decisive win against LaMelo Ball and the Hornets. I mean, I remember seeing some of those. So I mean, the defense of Isaiah Stewart. Beef Stew is just. He's incredible what he's doing, just like slapping these balls down, putting LaMelo Ball in jail. Cade Cunningham with some of these moves he's been making. Just a really complete team effort. Seeing what the Pistons can do, it's been very exciting. Yeah,
they had 11 blocks that game, and it's like Cade's defense. It's everybody's defense, man. I will say Ron Howland. I've been watching him a lot lately, and it's so interesting to see when you have teams like this where they're so defensive minded at first. When you see guys like him and you say, okay, he's a role player, and he's not like a 2-point shoot role player. He's like just an aggressive, meet you at the line, create turnovers, create havoc. He's just such an impactful, bothersome player. Like he just disrupts. He's just a complete disruptor. So I love how we have so many people on the team that when they come out and they hit the floor, that's their job is just to disrupt the offense. And you can tell that it's plug and play. And to me, like you said, Beef Stew and the blocks, dude, it's refreshing because when the Lions can't play defense, at least the Pistons can.
Yeah. It's been a great. I mean, obviously, it's just been an absolutely incredible season. That kind of a kick in the balls lost to the Mavericks. Cooper Flagg was all over the place, but it's one of those things. It's just a little bit of a stumbling block. It happens, but the Pistons is still the story of the town. I mean, Cade Cunningham runs this fucking city as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
the
he
guy is
does.
just next level. He's just next level. He's the next big Detroit guy. For the longest time, he had guys like Miguel Cabrera. He had guys like whoever. But for now, it's Cade Cunningham. He's the new star in town. He's really made a name for himself. You kind of wonder what kind of impact this guy's going to have. When he got drafted. But
He's cool as a cucumber too, man.
Yes.
Like I know most people get agitated, right? Like you especially if you look at Goff, right? He's another guy who's super cool and calm, collective. He's not an emotional guy, and I think that pisses people off. That he's not screaming and yelling like a Tom Brady would. But Cade's the same way, dude. He's not going to start a fight. He's calm, cool, and collective.
Yep.
He's not an annoying player like a Jalen Brunson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brunson is just someone you hate. Everybody hates Jalen Brunson. That's the next show on FX. But I just respect his complete demeanor and how he plays. So quiet. Even though the team is basically based around him, right? Him and Jalen Duren, their pick and roll is probably the best in the league.
Absolutely. No, it's good to see. He seems to be a humble, quiet guy. He's a very professional guy. He just goes out there and works. He goes out there and does his job. He's slapping down some elite defenders. He's putting the ball up. He's working in transition. He's doing, everything you need him to do. He does. He does it quietly. He's not a showy guy. That's that's an athlete we can appreciate. Just the kind of guy. The kind of a Detroit thing. We don't have a lot of flashy, screaming, yelling, emotional athletes. It's just like we got a guy like Cade. He's quiet. He's a workman-like kind of composition, whatever you want to call it, like demeanor, if you want to call it that. But he just comes in quietly, does his job. He's not like a flashy player, but he gets the job done. He has some very impressive highlight reels. Obviously I watched some of that stuff on Twitter. It's kind of hard not to see. And I check out a game every once in a while. I got to watch more Pistons. Honestly, my schedule's kind of goofy right now. Not that I'm making excuses, but it's fun to see. The Pistons are. I got to say. Are they like the must-see team in Detroit right now? Is the Pistons? Are they elevated?
I would.
Now that the Lions kind of faded into the background, and the Wings are just the Wings. They're having good. Well, we could talk about the Wings a little bit too, but as far as the Pistons go, is that the must-see team in Detroit?
Yeah, and speaking of, right, we have the Dew from the Doctor and the Dew. So he says, are we real? Yeah, that's what we're doing right now, man. We're having real conversations about the Lions. What are you doing? That's my
Lions
question.
Got to have a bad season. They're fucked this season.
That's the real conversation, right? Like, you missed it. I don't know what you were doing. You should.
Come on, Dew. Get your shit together, man.
At the edge of your fucking seat, waiting to get.
You fucking asshole. He's making me emotional.
The real conversation that we're going to have about the Lions is, the Pistons are the team to beat.
Yeah, Pistons are the team. They're coming out of the East. They're the hot team in the East. The Raptors are still good. They got some other teams in the East, that could threaten. But, the Pistons are just like
no
head and shoulders,
defense
man.
Like the Pistons, though.
No.
To me, when I talked about, we little flashback to the Lions, right? There's nothing that the Lions are doing right now that nobody else is. There's nothing special about this team. They're playing below their expectation. They're banged up. They're beat up. Whatever. But
even your stars aren't. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams. They were totally quiet this game. Yep. It was just like they were non-factors in this game. It's just one of those things when you can. We talk about the offensive firepower on this team, but when you can take those factors out of the game, then the Lions are fucked. If you figure out a way to stop this offensive line and stop these, play the correct defense in the secondary. When your secondary is humming and you can put a stop to these guys, the Lions are fucked. Obviously, your best player's not playing. Any team is fucked, but the Lions especially.
And I guess it's just the numbers, right?
Yeah.
And that's what all this is about. Is at the end of the day, with how many people and who they're out, the mathematical equation says you're about to run out of gas, right? So and if you equate this to a race car, right? Because the NFL season is kind of like a long haul race. Over time, you're going to be mixing your fuel and your air, playing with your tires, playing with your braking system. When you're have so many components broken on your race car, and you're asking so many other components to compensate. The law says at the very end, you are going to probably burn out. And they just burned out as a team this year.
Yep.
And you're going to see that for a lot of teams. And in a couple of weeks when we start playoffs, you're going to look back on a lot of these teams just by the nature of it and say, okay, are they all burned out, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I'm just saying, yes, we could have probably said this after the Rams loss. That's where you knew the Lions were going to be burned out. And it all was going to tell us they come home. They got the home field advantage. They're playing the Steelers. They're not that great of a team. The roster that they're putting out there, they're lucky to be 8-6. But they're a winning culture, so they're going to be. And that's what you get. But it told me everything right there and then, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay. I mean, that's kind of how this shit works, right? You get one shot at it. There's how many teams, and you're only one's going to win. So now, I'm going to tell you right now, you look at like the Houston Texans, they're getting beat up by the fucking Raiders. So last week, their defense was so stout and amazing. So the realistic chances, it's probably going to be you're going to have some Bills-Eagles bullshit.
Probably.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
They've been
Bills.
fighting
That's all
so
I'm going to
hard
say.
for it.
Bills are going to be my
mathematical equation. They've been deserving the shit out of that.
They have been. Bills are one of the most tortured sports franchises. I mean, not on the level of the Lions, of course. But Vito says, I'm sick of the refs determining outcomes of big games, not just my Lions, but everyone.
Yes.
The legalization of gambling made such a bad impact on the game. You're not wrong, Vito.
Yes.
And I'm not one to blame the officials on this shit, but this has been some pretty egregious fucking shit. And the gambling aspect, you're absolutely right. That's a very good point, Vito. That's the comment of the day.
You're right. Thank you. And I hope you're subscribing because I don't think I've seen you before, sir. And we appreciate that comment because you're right.
Love you, Vito.
And here's what it is we've got a situation where now that it's legal, it's just so obvious, right? It used to be like, oh, there's no way. Why would they do that, right? How would they benefit? Now it's like, oh, yeah, there's a clear-cut way of how they would benefit. And you saw that play at the end of the game where there's a touchdown, and they're like, nope, can't happen.
Nope.
Fuck. All right, another one. Fuck, can't happen there. Throw another one. And it's just like, well, here's what I said earlier on in this season is that pass interference, right? It's the new traveling. You can call it when you want, and they just do. They called it on DK Metcalf, right, for punching that fan. That's why they called that pass interference on him because they couldn't bust him on there. So pass interference is traveling. If they want to manipulate the game in basketball, they'll just call traveling on you until it's a turnover. And that's exactly what happened today at the very end of the game. And Vito, you're right. And it's going to continue to happen. I don't gamble on sports. I don't have FanDuel. I don't have Dick Wool or any of that shit. But the 98% of you will and do and will continue to until you understand it's just like the WWE.
Yeah, it's all kayfabe, man. At the end of the day, all this stuff, it's just theater. Honestly, it just the gambling. It's like robbing me of my joy. Like any authentic aspects of these games are just like going by the wayside. It's all this gambling. It's all like set up. You're all just like determined to lose. Everything's just like it's all determined by the officials now, by the league now. There's nothing fun about it. There's nothing random about it. Everything is just the same teams winning or the same whatever. I mean, there's parity here and there, but you break down some of these games. Look at some of these calls they're getting. There's bullshit calls left and right, and you just know how Vegas runs this fucking league. And it's just getting to the point. I think sports are in trouble, and we can talk about certain games, certain leagues, struggling to maintain relevance. But you talk about like baseball kind of being like an old man sport, and they're having trouble there. But and the hockey, as relevance, hockey's always struggled with like relevance since the '90s. But I think with like basketball, with basketball and like football, it's just. The betting is involved, and it just sucks all the fun out of it. And you're going to have to start like a lot of people are going to start jumping ship. I mean, I got to believe that a lot of people are just getting very jaded. Some days I watch this Lions team, and I know they've been good. They had a few good seasons, but I just get very jaded, and it's hard for me to like enjoy these games, especially this season. I know, because they've had kind of a down season this year, but it's just some days, even when the Lions are winning, it's just like, man, what the hell? But
I know.
That's just, maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, but that's how I feel. I think the whole thing, also DK Metcalf not getting ejected after the incident was a complete and utter joke. You're absolutely right, Vito. I thought for sure he'd get his ass dragged out of there. I thought for sure.
Well, they said since the refs didn't see it, which, okay, why would
oh,
you
for
need the
God's
refs
sake,
to
that's
see it?
fucking
They're not-
WWE.
Exactly.
It's fucking dumb. My fucking nicotine pouch is falling out. That's how passionate I am. My Zin is falling out. But yeah, it's such bullshit. Oh, the refs did. Jesus Christ, you're gonna have Randy Orton out there doing some RKO's on fucking DK Metcalf or some shit. You're gonna have fucking The Rock or Steve Austin. I haven't watched wrestling since the '90s. You gotta forgive me, but what is this like some WWE bullshit? What are you gonna have like John Cena out there slapping people around, fucking tackling the refs? What are we doing here, man? What is this? Fucking your professional billion-dollar league is run like a fucking clown show. It's absolutely embarrassing. And I can say that as a bitter Lions fan and also a fan of football, a fan of sports in general.
So
what the fuck is the way that what are we doing here?
Here's what I'm going to tell you, right? So you say it's ran like the WWE, and I agree. I've been saying that for a while now. You and I both haven't watched it since the 90s. However, because it's not good. I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around it anymore.
Right, right.
And I can still. I just want to raise my hand and say I can still go back and rewatch the stuff we grew up on and completely wrap my head around that and rewatch it and still get that excited about it. Right. So it's not just that like I'm just older and I'm not into it anymore. It's like it's different. So here's my point. We're not into it anymore. It's not the global phenomenon it used to be. It's not the heydays of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
However, it's still a billion-dollar company. It's still a giant. Everybody still goes to WrestleMania. There's still people still watch it. It's not as big, but it's still huge and it still prints money. And I think that's I almost said it. That's the NFL, right?
Yeah.
We're falling out of love with the situation of the game. However, it's going to be one of those things that it's always just going to be there. And it might not be the NFL that we grew up on in the 90s and the early 2000s. It's going to be just more of the NFL will represent kind of like this, like you said, current WWE, where it's a lot of women, a lot of...
women are terrible. Women are awful.
Awful.
Ugh, yuck. I'm
Yeah,
glad I'm gay.
Completely out of place when it comes to wrestling. We all know the kitchen, right?
Yeah, the kitchen. Get in there, ladies.
Shit in there. So it just really comes down to, though, like a whole new perspective when it comes to sports. So are we still going to watch it? Absolutely. It's fun. I still watched wrestling once I realized it was fake. I'll never forget the moment I found out wrestling was fake. Undertaker was wrestling Mankind, and somehow in some way, I think Paul Bearer blinded Mankind, blew some shit into his eyes. And I ran into the living room to tell my mom. I'm like, dude, there's no way he's blind. This is crazy. It just happened on TV. And she's like, it's fake. I'm like, no, it's not. She's like, no, that's wrestling. It's fake. I'm like, it's not fake, right?
It's like finding out Santa Claus isn't real.
Oh, dude, I figured that out on my own. But like wrestling, dude, you were gonna have to prove to me it was if it was fake, But
there's something about it. I mean, I know it's like we're older guys. We're getting pretty close to the 40s now, and Doctor in the Do agreeing with Vito as he should. Vito had a good take.
We're gonna make T-shirts that say "I agree with Vito."
I agree with Vito. The team Vito. But we're guys. I'm 39. I'm going to be 40 in a couple weeks. It's pretty crazy to think about. We grew up in the 90s. You know, a lot of millennials have like very rosy views of like the 90s, and it's all this nostalgia and stuff. And in a way, we have rosy views of like sports back in the 90s. I remember how good the Wings were, for instance. But after a while, part of it is like, you get older, you get more cynical, you don't enjoy the things you used to enjoy. But I have to say, like with wrestling and with like the NFL and with a lot of these other enterprises in and related to sports and whatnot, you could say maybe boxing, maybe MMA, maybe other kinds of sports, soccer, maybe they lose a bit of their soul after a while.
Yep.
They lose the soul of it, and you don't see the passion involved in it. It's kind of by the books, by the numbers, kind of maintaining some status quo. It's not like quite as fun as it was before. It loses something. The color is gone. it becomes more monochrome. It becomes more stale. It just becomes more formulaic. That's the word I want to
Yes.
use, formulaic.
Yeah.
But, there's something to be said. I mean, like, yeah, we're getting older now. The same kind of stuff isn't going to drag us in like it did when we were kids. But there is definitely a decline in, like, the fun of these leagues, the fun of these sports
It's
events.
not authentic. It just doesn't seem. It's the same way you look at the music industry, right? When you're a kid and you're
Yeah.
looking at the rock and roll guys or anybody who's on TV in the entertainment industry, you're really thinking it's the best of the best in that situation, and you're really thinking that the most competitive are out there. And if you are the most competitive, you'll be rewarded with that. And the reality is just it's completely set up now. No different than, again, we'll go right back to wrestling. Started off as very local, territorial situation where it was real and rough, and then as it got bigger and as it generated more money, there was more liability, so they had to take more precautions and treat it like a business. And at the end of the day, you're gonna run it what's good for business, and what's good for business is just not leaving it up to the odds of the players. You're gonna leave it up to the odds of a narrative. So at the end of the day, you're going to have script writers. It's going to go from the guys just kind of calling it in the ring and figuring things out, and it's going to go to literally you get a script and it tells you how things are going to work. Now, can you go off script? Sure. But you'll be quietly reminded what happens when you go off script, and there'll be ways to bring the script back into play. So
yes, there will. There will, absolutely. It's very predictable, and you just kind of know what to expect. And the kind of random fun kind of aspect of it is kind of gone. And you can still enjoy it for the most part if you kind of turn your brain off a little bit. But it's hard to get invested in this kind of stuff anymore. And, part of that's your age, obviously. I don't keep bringing that up. But, it's hard to be, it's just like, me, myself, I consider myself, I love sports. I consider myself a pretty big sports fan. But like lately, the last few years, it's been difficult for me to kind of get involved in this kind of stuff because a lot of it just feels so formulaic. I know a lot of other people probably feel the same way, but I talk about sports. I mean, I guess I consider this a hobby until we start making money from it. But subscribe and like our podcast, by the way.
Please.
But yeah, just kind of a point with me where just like we're having fun here, but it's just you lose something after a while. I know but it's, you get to a point and you're just kind of like, I could spend my time doing other stuff, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me being too cynical. But
we decided to create a podcast, which really, that's the funny thing of this is it started out as just a Detroit Lions podcast.
Yep.
You just end up talking about so many other things, so now it's a Detroit podcast, and you're right. This is therapeutic for me because you're going to be getting involved in this. It is programmed. It is rhythmic. It is written out. And we almost need to kind of control our narrative, which is this is us fighting back and saying, okay, here we're going to do our little show. We're going to tell you we know it's fucking rigged, and we're going to have some fun with it, and we're going to do a little call and response. But I don't know how you own season tickets. I don't know how you pay like 40% of your hard-earned money going to these games. They're not entertaining anymore. We've gone over that before. I don't.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Yeah.
But like going to a minor league hockey game, probably at a small little arena where you can get hot dogs and hamburgers for $1, would be more entertaining because it would just be real. That's where it's real. So I want to encourage everybody to start reaching out and going to your like local smaller independent leagues or your minor league games, because that's truly where these guys are fighting, because the contracts aren't huge, the revenue isn't large. It's probably a tax write-off for some of these leagues. A way to
it's not
funnel
televised,
cash.
No,
but
it's
you're
not like
gonna get good experiences, right?
I've been to minor league. I've been to a few Whitecaps games. I've been to a few Griffins games when I was living on the west side. These guys play with fashion. They're fun. The Whitecaps are playing very good. Whitecaps and the Griffins are two teams. I know, like, if we brought like minor league sports into the equation, we'd probably get a bunch of people like falling asleep. But it's just I mean, that generates interest. It's like a regional thing, obviously, but there's still some good. They really gets a sense of the passion there.
Yep.
It's just like the craziness, like the expectations just aren't there. You know, the Grand Rapids Griffins, they put out a really solid product for like a decade. You know, they've won a couple championships, but you know, Mudheads games, you know, there too. I went to a few Whitecaps games when I was in Grand Rapids. You know, it's fun stuff. You know, it's just they put on a real show here, and it's not like. Yeah, exactly. But it's the thing with these minor league games with the guys like that. You know, it's just like they're a lot more passionate about it. There's not the cynicism because you get some of these guys that get these 10-year, $300 million contracts, and they're just like, fuck it, whatever. But here it's just the passion's still there. That's what I'm saying.
Can you bet on minor league sports, or are you betting on minor? Are people betting on minor league sports?
I'm sure someone is somewhere.
I was going to say, I know people bet on some pretty wild stuff.
Yeah.
I've never personally placed a professional bet on any sports game other than like a square or a handshake bet with somebody, which I don't know. Again, it just all seems too rigged to me.
Yeah, it definitely. Oh, sorry.
Speaking of that, check this out.
Oh, what do you got there?
An old telephone. I just
no
to
shit.
figure out a way to work that into this, and I haven't done that yet. So.
It'll be the hotline to Brad Holmes.
That is.
I threw out the first pitch years ago on an Altoona Curve game. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I don't know what Altoona Curve is, but it sounds interesting.
You know what? Actually, so let's because that was a good point. Have you been to a DCFC game, and do you know what that is?
That's the Detroit City Fan Football Club.
Correct.
I know they're getting a new arena. They knocked down like that Southside Hospital. They're going to put a new arena there. I don't know how much that's going to cost, but I have not been. I didn't. You know, I mean, I don't know if they're any good. I'm not really a soccer guy. You're going to have to forgive me. I don't really follow soccer.
It's okay. I don't follow soccer. I'm not a soccer guy. So my son was on a travel soccer team for years. So we got to go to the games, and not because he was on it, but that's the reason. Like his team was the reason why we got invited, and they got to like go on the field with the players. But
yeah,
here's what I'm trying to say: a great experience, fun. It's cheap. You don't have to be a soccer guy. It's just live sports where they're actually trying. The beer is super cheap. The food is really good. They have all these really nice food trucks. In like the little parking lot. The stadium is super old school and cool. They're just old bleachers. That's something Hermdo and Hitch, I know, on one of the many things he wants to do. Wanted to go to a DCFC game, but I've been to a handful. And again, you don't have to be a soccer guy. You just have to be somebody who likes a good time. So I'd recommend you go.
Yeah, okay. Fuck. I mean, we got hell in the springtime. I don't know what their schedule is, but you know, hell, that sounds like fun. I mean, hell, go down somewhere, just something where I'm not expecting much. You know, I'm not going to be like freaking out about stuff. You know, I'd like to go down there, see a few games. You know, yeah. I mean, people don't give enough love to like the minor league sports in Detroit. You know, I mean. I go down to Toledo, see the Mudhens. You know, they got the Grand Rapids Gold. That's, you know, the Pistons G League, or not the Pistons G League. That's something else. But yeah, you know, there's still there's still good venues. There's still good times to be had. If the major sports are pissing you off, I mean, hell, go down there, get a cheap beer and get a decent hot dog somewhere. Just watch some minor league guys play, just some guys that aren't millionaires, just some guys that are coming up through the system, got that passion, you know. That's what was fun about the Whitecaps games. You know, it was fun. I mean, I went there. It was like a friend of a friend kind of thing. They had like a deal with he had like a law firm, and they had like a company outing. They invited me along, and it was like free hot dogs, free hamburgers. The beer was expensive, but I didn't really have any beer. I just kind of drank, you know, Faygo or whatever they had. But still, I mean, a big fat guy like me, you can get me anywhere if you promise me some hamburgers and hot dogs, man. I'm all about that shit. But yeah, sitting down watching some good minor league sports, you know, it's fun. It's a good time, you know, and you know,
the
it's just
environment's relaxing.
Yes,
you go
it
to
is.
Ford Field. We just went, and it's heavy in there. It's not relaxing.
Yeah.
It's not like where you're there just watching a ball game and everyone's having a good time. It's like intense. It's heavy. It's busy. It feels like everybody's there, but not everybody's there to do the same thing. Like
Yeah.
going to a Lions game now is almost like going out downtown for a fancy dinner or to the club. Like your intentions are, you can tell there's not football fans there is what I'm trying to say. You go to a DCFC game or you go to a minor league game, you can just tell there's sports fans there.
Yeah.
They're not
Passion's still there.
in $7,000 heels. You know what I mean? Walking around. You go to these games now, dude, and even when the Pistons were awful, I laughed at these people dressed up like to the nines to go to a Pistons game on a Wednesday and sit there. It's like, what are you doing?
I know.
It's getting pretty silly, right? But with the cost of tickets, who the fuck do you think is buying these things? It's not your average blue collar worker that's showing up there.
No.
It is some highfalutin fellow like yourself.
Yes, like me, being my $17 Duluth Trading Company shirt. I'll be down there. Altoona Curve was a AA affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oh, okay. Thank you, Doctor in the Do. I appreciate that. Very interesting. Very interesting. That sounds like it would be fun. AA affiliate. Yeah. I think Whitecaps are the single A affiliate. Then there's AA Erie. I don't know if they're called the Seawolves or the Moon Mammoth now. I don't know the whole thing with like John Oliver naming them again. But then there's, the high A stuff. There's like the Mud Hens. Those are, you see some good players down there. You never know who's going to be coming up through that system. But yeah, I mean, it's a opportunity. That's the one thing you see the minor leagues. It's good for. I mean, there's a lot of guys in there that'll probably never touch, the major leagues. But every once in a while, you can see somebody pretty good. Maybe you'll see like the next Tarek Scooby. You'll see the next like Spencer Torkelson or something.
Well, so you that's it right there. Next Tarek Scooble, we talked about it. Tarek Scooble's on his
farewell tour.
Farewell tour. Let's talk about the Tigers a little bit. So
sure,
we got Kenley Jansen, who is a older version of what we needed 5 years ago. We do this all the time. We get somebody who's done a really great job at their position, and we're getting them past their prime. Let's just skip to the bullshit. He's gonna be a really nice option. Is he going to be what you're used to seeing him be? Probably not. Let's get past that. Alex Bregman completely missed the market on his whole situation with the Tigers. They're pretending like they don't even like him anymore or want him. I don't really know if I want him or not. You tell me, what do you think, dude? Because we know Scooble's gone for sure. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Right?
I like the Jansen signing. I know he's a little over the hill, I mean, in some ways, but I think he'll be a good option coming out of that dugout, or coming out of that, bullpen, rather. But I think he'll be a good guy that can take over the closing duties, maybe give Will Vest a little bit of a rest. I know that we cut a few guys got traded away. Now, didn't Chase Lee get traded away, if I'm not mistaken? But we do need some back-end help with that bullpen. A lot of these guys, Tommy Canley just really came unglued. We've gotten rid of some of these other guys that had like little short, like nice little romantic runs, and then they're like out of the league right now. But yeah, I'm not. The Alex Bregman thing. I'm not going to be mad if they sign him. I think he'd be a good addition. Still, we do need some help at third base still, but he could bring a little bit of a pop with his bat. But granted, he's on the wrong side of 32. I don't know what kind of a deal they'd give to the guy. I don't even know what's going on there, what the Tigers are planning. But we'll see what's. Man. Yeah, I think maybe that whole thing. I'm not sure. I've not really been checking out the Tigers rumors lately, but I'm trying to. I'm so focused on the Lions and everybody else, but all this kind of stuff we got.
Oh, don't say that. No, they're not. They're not that stupid.
Yeah. Oh, they got rid of Justin Henry Malloy. Tiger's going to wind up letting Scooble walk. Oh, shut up.
No, they're not.
Shut up, dude. Why you got to hurt me, dude? Why you got to hurt me? You know what? Nothing would, honestly, I'm going to be like a cynical Tigers fan. Nothing would surprise me at this point, honestly, with this franchise.
Okay. They're not going to let him walk. Maybe you could say that they're going to miss the full max value on his return.
Might, yeah.
But they're not going to let him walk.
If Al Avila was still in charge, I'd say Scooble, they'd walk him out. He'd walk out. They'd give him like a coney dog and like a pat on the ass, and that's all we'd get for Tarek Skubal. But I mean, Alavila's not. I gotta believe Scott Harris at least knows what he's doing somewhat, But we did DFA Justin Henry Malloy. We did re-sign Kyle Finnegan, which is good. Justin Henry Malloy. I mean, he had a couple nice moments here, but he was never going to be the answer. He was a guy that he made a name for himself in the AAA, but we got what's his name, McGonigal coming up. We got Max Clark coming up. As far as pitching goes, I don't know what they're going to do to fill that Skubal void. I mean, you better hope that Reese Olson and Jackson Jobe can really show you something, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Which I don't really think does anything to tickle my fancy other than solidify what I think this team is going to be. It's just a little slightly above average baseball team and then fall apart towards the end. I don't think it's going to be a 15-game collapse, but I don't think they're going to have 15 games to play with also.
No.
I think they're going to be battling it out again with Cleveland to see who's a battle at the top. We know the White Sox are permanent trash, and we know that what's that other shitbag team in our division? The Twins.
The Twins. Ugh. Yeah, they just fired their manager, so they just fired Rocco Baldelli. So
they're done.
Yeah, they're done. I mean, it was a nice story. I remember, I think it was 2019 or 2020. They won like 100 games. The Twins were kicking ass, but this has been a steady decline for the last few years. If the Tigers are in the trade deadline, School finishes the season with us, then he walks. I'm excited for Job. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Job can do. Let's try to focus on the positive. I do think they'll dump him. I do think they'll get rid of Skubal. It'll be some deal at the winter meetings. I don't know what kind of term he's going to get, but we'll see what we can get for him. Bolster that, bolster that farm system. See what we can do. Work out some kind of deal. I mean, I'm really hoping that Harris would not do that. Just let him walk away. But I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. I'm trying to be positive here. I know the dude likes to rag on us a bit, but he likes to get our dander up. But I got to think. Scott Harris is. He's earned enough trust where I think that. Despite the Tigers' shortcomings, I think that he's still a good GM or a good president. I don't even know who our GM is anymore. Some Jewish guy.
You know what I would like to say to you about the do?
Yeah.
That boy ain't right.
No, he ain't. Hank is right about that.
He's not right, and the problem is you're not going to let the gentleman walk. I don't really think he seems to think that we are going to be in it during the trade deadline. I don't think we're going to be buyers. I don't think we're going to be that good. I don't know.
I don't know. I think the Tigers could surprise. I don't think. I mean, we know the Indians. I'm not Indians. I'm sorry. The Guardians aren't going to be spenders. They're pretty much a one-man team. I don't see the Twins or the White Sox or the Royals really. I mean, the Tigers still. I still think we can be the class of the division. Our team is still mostly intact for the most part, but we got some issues to work on. The pitching's rotation is what concerns me, especially the bullpen. Just the rotation, the bullpen still kind of makes me. I don't know, but as far as offense goes, I mean, I think we could probably add a bat or two, but I don't think this team needs too much reworking. I think they're still pretty solid as is, kind of like the Lions. And look what happened there. But
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really. I mean, it's all the mojo. I mean, I know we talk about mojo. We talk about the kind of momentum these teams have had. I mean, is the Tigers are they kind of running up against a brick wall? We know how the season ended last year, where they're that probably the most just horrible September you could ever hope to have, and the Tigers suffered through that, and they blew a 15-game lead in their division in the final days of that. But we know. I mean, I still think the Tigers can have a solid. The Tigers, I think they can be solid. I mean, but I'm not. I don't know yet. I'm not sure what their offseason. I have not been paying much attention to the Tigers. I know I'm Mr. Tiger guy, but I've also been focused on the wings and whatnot. But it's just. I don't know. I think we'll be all right. I'm not too worried about the Lions, and I'm not too worried about the Tigers. It just is what it is. I think we can retool a bit and come back strong. And I trust the staff, the general managers enough to actually build these teams back up and get them back in a winning position. But it's kind of a it's the same thing. I mean, Tigers in a similar position to the Lions, where it's just like you had a down season. Yeah, you had high expectation. You kind of have a down season, and now it's kind of a pivotal off season where it's like you really gotta retool this team well. You gotta get these guys in here well. You gotta make some good free agent moves, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That hasn't really been Brad Holmes' MO. We'll see what Scott Harris brings to the equation. But it is what it is. I'm not. I'm shaking my head a lot, but it's all good. Hot booty oats, baby. Yes, I agree, ADS. Thank you. Hot booty pats. Hot booty pats. Yes. I agree. I don't know what that means, but I agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yes. That is Hermdo's 100% endorsement. You can take that to the bank.
Yeah, and to that
Crack smoking swindlers.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you knew it was going to happen.
Wasn't it me a couple weeks ago that said the Lions would miss the playoffs? How many times do I have to be right before you guys admit it? Shut up! Shut up, Dew! Okay, maybe you were right. Maybe Dew had some good points. But still. I hate admitting it, but we're in an emotional state right now, Dew. We're very sad.
God!
We're absolutely depressed.
God, please, no! No!
Okay, thank you, Michael Scott. We love that drop. We're millennials. We love the Office drops. But yeah, looks like the Dew probably wasn't lying. Credit where credit's due. I mean, I had some bad feelings about the season the last couple weeks, but it just we talked about it so much.
This is the shit where it starts to really drive me crazy because he perpetually builds up his negativity before the season's over. He's like, the winter meetings are over. Harris is currently bombing the offseason.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm out here telling you personally that I think that the Tigers are not a baseball destination. You're not going to argue this with me because I don't think they're going to be good. I think what they're going to do is they're going to sell you on this bullshit farm system for the next 3 years, and there isn't really going to be anything good about this baseball situation. So, suck on that, bad boy.
All right. Well, I'm trying to be why am I only the one trying to be positive here? I'm just trying to give these teams some time and try to be reasonable and whatnot. Everyone's shitting all over Hermdo. Everyone doesn't care what Hermdo has to say.
I'll tell you what you've been right about is I think you've been the one that's negative on the Red Wings and I'm the one that's positive on them. Right?
Yeah.
So you keep calling them streaky. You keep calling them, so-so. I think you have a higher expectation of the Red Wings.
Well, I think they're doing good. They're on a nice little run now, but the Wings have broken our hearts before. They've gone on nice runs, and then right around February, March, they start shitting their pants. They're on a nice run right now, going into the holidays. They've been kicking some ass. Overall, I give them grade. I give them a B. They're playing. They're playing more structured hockey. Their goaltending stability is still a little but it's been better. It's been Cam Talbot and John Gibson have been better. I know John Gibson was pretty shaky at the start of the season. There's better balance between top end scoring and the depth contributions, but there's still defensive lapses in clusters where you just see them giving away pucks, or you see an opposing forward just slicing right through the defense when he's on the forecheck. But there's still some inconsistency against the elite opponents. I know they had a home and home against the Capitals. They handed Capitals 2 losses in a row against a very good Capitals team, against Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. They got a solid team in the Washington, and the Red Wings went in there and beat them, home and home. But the Wings they'll still get blown out 6-3 against the Predators. That's just the inconsistencies we're talking about. But they're still maybe a little too top heavy. They're still too reliant on some of these guys like Mo Seider and Lucas Raymond. Lucas Raymond just scored his first goal today for the first time in 9 games. But yeah, I think we got the depth contributions of Axel Sandin Pellikka, Andrew Kopp. Shout out to Andrew Kopp. He's been excellent for us. 11 points in 11 games. James Van Riemsdyk's been showing up with some timely scoring. There's a lot of things to like about this team. I think they're decent. Yeah, if the Wings can survive March, I'll start believing in. I'm right there with you, Dew. I'm not going to counter signal that at all. Absolutely. The Wings need to have a solid, full, complete season before. I'm not going to be, it's not like in February where they're like going on a little bit of hot streak. They're high up in the maybe not so much the division standings, but like in the wild card standings, they're high up in there, and then they just crap their pants. I'm not giving. I'm holding the Wings to that standard. I'm holding the Wings to that standard. I think McClellan's doing a very good job. I think he's got this team doing as good as they can. I mean, they're leading the division right now. You can't ask for much better. But yeah, we'll see. But they need to deliver a full season. I want to get through March before I start getting too hopeful. But you never know. Maybe they'll squeak in. I have a good feeling about the Wings. I'll just say I have a good feeling. I think my guarantee still holds. I do think they'll get into the playoffs, even if they back in on the eighth seed, even if they squeak in the wild card. I still think they're getting in the playoffs this year. I have a good feeling. Some concerns, but overall a good. Thank you for that, Little John.
Hey, no
That's a
problem.
nice throwback to 2004. Yes,
Little John's excited for you.
Little
man.
John's excited.
He
Okay,
has your back.
we're going back to 2004, baby.
Yeah.
The flip phones are back in. YouTube's not a thing. Like, don't forget to mention John Leonard. Yeah, he's a couple goals for us. John Leonard, the top scorer in the AHL. John Leonard from the league leading Grand Rapids Griffins. That's what you need. You need a guy like that who can get out of the AHL and put you some and provide you some critical points. That's what John Leonard's doing. He's been very good for the Wings. I like a lot what I've seen from John Leonard. But there's a lot of things to like about the Wings. I think we're doing all right. Kernbo's got that blue spunky nose. I don't know what that means.
Oh,
Now I'm
boy.
self-conscious about my nose.
You have a lovely nose, I think.
I do have a lovely nose. Thank you.
Well, you just went on a diatribe about the Red Wings. I'm going to
Yes.
go on something about the Detroit Pistons.
Go ahead.
They're going on a road trip out west, and I think this is going to be a big test for them, right? They've done a nice job just balancing themselves Kings of the East right now, but they're about to go play Trailblazers, Kings, Jazz, Clippers, and Lakers, right? So you're going to be foul territory on the other side of the United States, playing against some teams right now that have a lot of firepower, right? You're going to be not resetting yourself back home. So this is going to be a test for that defense. Can you beat guys by fucking 30 on the road? Can you lock up Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves? Can you lock up everybody on the not named Laurie Markham on the Jazz?
Yeah.
What can you do on this road trip out west? I want to see when they come back how battle tested they are, because that's how this is what's gonna really tell us about this. Because dude, being number one in the East right now is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, Pistons. They gotta earn it. They gotta earn it. You can't give them nothing. They're still a young team on the come up. There's a lot of good things about the Pistons. They're playing real well this year, but just I don't know. Expect anything. Because I mean, they might have a couple. They're going to have some bad losses. They might have a couple bad streaks. But what about Ryan Leonard, Hermdo? Ryan Leonard. Let me look that up. Ryan Leonard.
Yeah, defense travels. I know do, and I hope you're right. I
Oh,
hope that
for the,
that's that's that standard that we bring to your arena. Is we're gonna wear you guys out.
Yeah. Ryan Leonard's a player for the Washington Capitals, I guess. He's got some shoulder and facial injuries, unfortunately. Capitals. He's the rookie for the Capitals. He will be sidelined 3 to 5 weeks with the shoulder. I don't know, I don't follow the Capitals, so you'll have to forgive me. I don't know.
I think he was a part of the Epstein files. They found him on there.
Oh, that too. You never know with those wacky Epstein files. I have the Pistons making the Eastern Conference Finals. What do you think about that, Mark?
This is what I think about it. The dude being positive. That's crazy. That's what I think of it. I do. I really think we're making the Eastern Conference Finals is huge, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You just saw what we did last year when we played that series in New York against the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
Do we finally have the answer to beat a hot-handed Jalen Brunson? I think we do right now with our defense. that defense you're seeing, that pick and roll offense from Jay and Cade. Yeah, I think we have it.
Absolutely.
I do want to say though, and Rasheed Wallace just got introduced into the
Michigan Sports Hall of Fame.
Michigan Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Thank you. We need that. We need another
Yes.
Rasheed Wallace trade here. We need
Yes,
that
we do.
just to take us to the next level. That's what he did when he came here.
I think so.
So I don't know what that is. I don't want to give everything away. It's not Anthony Davis. We got to stop with that stuff.
Ooh, please.
Yeah, we got to stop with the Anthony Davis talk. But I don't know. I do want to feel this out and kind of not make any rushing judgments. We don't need anybody right now.
No.
But I feel like towards the end, I want to have somebody who does take us to that next level.
Absolutely. How do you feel about Purvis Ellison? I don't know who that is. And I got to look him up. Purvis Ellison. That sounds like some old-timey, like oil magnate or something. American basketball forward.
Who is that?
He's 58 years old. What do you want me to say? I don't know.
Purvis.
I like his name, Purvis. You don't hear that
That's
a lot.
a great name.
Purvis. It's one letter away from being pelvis. Pelvis Ellison.
If the Pistons get the Knicks again, Pistons, I agree.
Yes.
This is scary how we agree on the Pistons. Yes, they do. They really do win. Then my next question will be, what team do you see as our bottleneck in the East? Who's our kryptonite in the East? Because it's not the Knicks anymore, right?
No. Possibly, I don't know. Maybe would it be Boston? Would it be Toronto? Would it be,
Well,
that's
if
a
it's
good question.
Boston, I'm okay with that because of the way we played Boston. I was really optimistic on the way that we played Boston. We did a really nice job handling them in the Garden. So, if it, I guess you're right. Boston, the path through the East is Boston until somebody else wins. So, fair answer.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hermdo seems like a Stoico Vankovic kind of guy.
This is probably some Russian guy who's like 62.
Vrankovic. Now I have to look him. Stoico Vrankovic. Stoico.
This is whoever this is probably a big fan of the ABA.
Stoico Vrankovic. He's 61 years old.
So what the fuck did I just say?
Is a Croatian professional basketball executive and former player. The Human Victory Cigar. Los Angeles Clippers center. What? These are some random freaking names here.
Oh boy, this is great.
Oh Lord, let's end this stream before they ask me too many more questions.
Whoever this is, damn, probably was too old to serve in Desert Storm.
Probably he's almost my dad's age. So
yeah. Boston has too many injured pieces not playing this season. You're right. That's really what it comes down to. But that's why I'm saying, and I think we can agree that team is the standard in the East right now, even though they are banged up. Kind of like the Lions, right? Standard of the NFC North, but they're just a little banged up.
Yep.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So what are your thoughts on the rest of the season? For the Lions, are you going to watch the next two games, or are you just kind of like, because I'm just...
Who cares?
That's kind of...
Who cares? It's over. Remember, you should get a face tattoo of Dwayne. It's just... I was just going to do that. Me and Mark were talking about that before the stream. He's like, you know who you looking with? Dwayne Schnitzness, or whatever his name is. I think that would be good. I think that would be good. Well, what about like Ziggy Palfy or Radek Bonk or any of the other guys? I think we can...
Who the fuck is this, and what book are they looking up?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus!
Does he have like an ESPN like Croatian basketball players wiki or something?
No, this is one that I'm glad I looked up because I'm sharing who the fuck this guy is.
Oh no!
If Dave Rayum would have been a basketball player, this is who he
man,
dreamt about being.
Dwayne Schnitzius. Oh, he passed away. That's too bad.
Oh, that's sad.
Rest in peace, Dwayne. Look at that
2012.
mullet.
That's
Look
what I'm
at him.
saying. Played for
Look
the
at that
Spurs.
jaw. This guy is a specimen. Owner of the most carefully crafted mullet in NBA history, passes away at age 43. Oh, damn. That's too bad. That's too bad.
European. No.
You know, I would get this guy
no
tattooed
shot.
on me, though. I would get this guy. I would get a Dwayne Schnitznius tattoo. Schnitznius. Season's over, and I can't wait to see Brad signs off the IR. Oh, hush. Oh, hush. Prove it. Shut up, Jay Plum. Oh, Lord. We're having fun tonight. We're having fun.
It
Unless
is.
you piss me off.
That is Crush from 1990s WWF.
Oh, Lordy.
So Hermdale,
Oh, shit. Yes.
what are you most excited for about Christmas? Is there a gift that Santa's going to be getting you?
I already
that you're
bought
looking
my
for?
own. I already have my own gift. I bought a new jacket after my
Very nice.
old Bass Pro Shops jacket crapped the bed. So this is my early Christmas gift to myself. I'm also going to buy myself some decent liquor, and probably hang out at my brother's house on Christmas Eve. Eat some food. We're going to order out to. We're having it catered from a barbecue place around here, and probably just have some ribs and some mashed potatoes, and drink some whiskey, and smoke some cigars. That sounds good. How about yourself?
You know, I don't have a nice jacket like yourself.
Oh.
However, we'll be having a gangle of people over here on Christmas. Just doing a lot of food, a lot of gifts, a lot of fun. We've been doing a lot of prepping, a lot of cleaning, a lot of organizing. So I'm looking forward to it. The Lions are playing on Christmas, and I don't really give a shit. They're playing the Vikings, who gives a fuck about that game. So, looking forward to some basketball. I really am.
Yeah.
I think we should get on here a couple times after some basketball games.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to a lot of that. But I think I'm ready to wrap it up for the evening. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I got to
All
get to
right.
bed early tonight because I got to work tomorrow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they say as the bell tolls.
Yes. Oh,
Or
fucking light. Oh, the bell tolls for us.
the bell tolls for us. So
I'm going to get my Dwayne Schnitznius tattoo. That's going to be my Christmas gift to myself. I'll show you guys. I'll show Jay Plum. I'll show the Dew. I'll show all you guys in the chat. And Vito, too. You can take a look. Bedtime. Have a good night, fellas. You, too. His jacket is made of Dave's skin. Yes.
yes, we're all made of Dave's skin. Thank
Yes.
you for joining us. We're happy you're here, and good.